Hello, everybody. Welcome to Echo Underground. I am Shanique.
This is Mike.
And on this podcast, we talk about music, movies, and
Marvel characters as far as the eye can see. Especially the same one, but 4, 5, 6 different times.
Anything else?
Nope, that's all I got.
Okay. So hit us up on Twitter, Echo You Podcast. And you can also send us emails at echoundergroundpodcast@gmail.com. We do listen. Right, Michael? Even if they suggest, even artists we don't like?
Yeah.
We listen? Alright, cool. We got on tape. But today's episode is going to be about the new movie called
Spiderman Into the Spiderverse.
Yeah, I had to let him get the title. Short synopsis. Actually, you know what? Let Michael do the synopsis. Let's go.
I'm going to talk forever if I do the synopsis of this. I'm not going to shut up.
Alright, fine.
I'm
Let me do it.
I'm going to start this podcast off with a tangent, and that's not going to be fun for anybody to hear. So.
Okay, fine. Short synopsis. We meet Miles Morales, and he is going to this new school. He's not fitting in well. You meet his family. Then he gets bit by a spider, and then his life turns into a weird-ass comic because he got bit by a spider, he kind of ends up running into, actual Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and then Kingpin is doing weird shit, which leads to a big-ass issue with universes merging together. And now they have to fix it, or we all die. I think I covered all the bases of it.
Yeah, it's not non-spoiler summary, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you. You did a good job.
Alright, so before we start, there will be spoilers, so stop right now and just watch the movie and let us know what you guys think. If you don't care about being spoiled or you already saw the movie, stick around a while. So I'm going to give this movie, it A-. I admit, to me, the beginning started off real slow. My eyes were kind of closing a little bit. But after you get over the initial introduction, I actually was really enjoying the movie. I like the kind of comic book style of the animation. It was very different than the animation I'm used to seeing in these type of movies. There were points where it felt like a kid movie and it was kind of predictable, but it's a fun movie. I think anyone can enjoy it. Let me rephrase. Anyone who, can open their mind to comic book characters, especially the wacky ones. There's an animal who could talk in there. Mm-hmm. Anyone who could do that, I think they can enjoy the movie. And it had a lot of good themes in it. I liked the voice acting on it. The plot was a little out there, but it was easy to follow and understand. So, still A-. I couldn't give it a normal A because there were parts I found just too childish for me. Or I just couldn't get into certain things. But other than that, solid movie. One of the best animated movies so far. But I haven't seen a lot, so that might not be saying anything.
I think the only ones we really saw were My Hero, which was 2D, really.
It's still animated, though.
I know, but I'm just something to compare it to, really, parallel. We didn't really see anything 3D. Last one might have been Zootopia.
Yeah, but it's still a good movie, though. It could stand up to other movies. So, yeah. Michael, you're great. I already know it is, but let's go.
Okay, now for this podcast, I'm going to take my Spider-Man goggles off and start seeing the world a little more clearly.
I don't think that's possible.
Because, don't get me wrong, guys. I love Spider-Man. I love the Spider-Man universe. I love the Spider-Man universes for this movie. And this is coming from a guy who, thanks to Shanique, I got caught up with the actual Spider-Verse comics. So it was kind of cool to see what they did with this story, because they used the story as Miles' origin, pretty much. And they did take a lot of elements from the comics, and it was pretty cool. Now, the movie itself, because we're not here to talk about the actual comic, was pretty good. Standalone movie on its own outside the actual MCU, did a damn good job by Sony. Miles Morales, go ahead.
It's in association with Marvel.
In association with Marvel. As the intro credits do remind you.
We ain't really Marvel.
Yeah.
But we associated to them.
Yeah, we needed them to sign off on doing this movie, but we ain't Marvel.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did a really good job with his origin story. As good as it could have gotten while, keeping it clean enough to make it in front of kids and whatnot. So I thought that was pretty cool. The animation style was very unique. takes it's pretty much 3D, but with like a lot of comic book influences thrown into it. And the pacing of it, unlike Shanique, I enjoyed the slower pace of it. I kind of enjoyed Miles Morales as a character as well. My favorite character in the movie by far, because they started him out like most Spider-Man movies start Spider-Man out as, like, you know, kind of wimpy, you know, really afraid more than anything else. Definitely, you know, doesn't want to like put his big boy pants on until, like, you know, something happens. And another theme with Spider-Man is every Spider-Man has lost someone. And in this, we'll get to it, but in this movie, he loses someone as well. And I do like his Out of Spider-Man stories too, his relationship with his dad, because that one, you know, reoccurs a couple times as well. And I thought it was interesting that they used Kingpin for his antagonist, who you see in the trailer as well. That's kind of the main antagonist. There's some others in there spread around, but Kingpin's the main one. So as far as a grade, I'm going to give this movie a solid A. And you making a face?
No.
Oh. Are you sure?
Yeah. Actually, no. I'm gonna shade him. I knew. I feel like even if the movie,
an A-, so
I know, but even if the movie was trash, it would have been an A. Cause you're that much of a Spider-Man.
Well, you're going on an if right now. You can't go on if.
All right. Fine. I'll take my shade back. You know, it's in my mind.
It's already been said out loud. The people listening to this podcast just heard you try to shade me. She had the meanest smirk over here, like, let's get this shit over with, Michael. You gonna give this shit an A because you a Spidey brain, like all this bullshit. Like, listen, it was a good movie, guys. And as far as, like, you know, animated movies with Marvel and DC that are outside of their actual main continuity stories right now, this one's a really good one. Like, you don't need to know anything about Spider-Man. Granted, obviously you probably do, but even if you don't, it's actually pretty good. It's cool to see, like, you know, someone taking the reins in a what if story. Well, actually not a what if story, but an actual story where Spider-Man is gone. Like, you know, who replaces him, who does he pass the mantle on to, and all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, how does he develop himself? It's a really good origin story for my man Miles. And, you know, he kind of did it for the culture because, you know, my boy's half black, half Spanish, and he was holding it down. So, you know, it's cool.
Okay. So let's get into the actual movie. And at this point, you probably have a lot of spoilers. Actually, your review didn't have much spoilers.
I learned from the best.
All right, cool. Spoiler alert. One day I'd probably have like the sound, but but getting into some actual spoilers. Let's start with, I guess. So we meet Miles Morales, right? And you see him at his home, and they show him singing. And what I love this is, like, it showed that, like, yo, people don't know what the hell these rappers are saying these days. Because he was singing the song, and then when it came to the mumble rap, he was like, on beat. And he has a solid voice, whoever the voice actor is. Which I wish I would have looked up before who's actually voicing Miles, because I don't know. I know who's voicing Peter, like the older Peter, but I don't know who's voicing Miles Morales. But meet Miles, he's singing in his room. He's about to go to this boarding school in the middle of New York, which is kind of weird. I've never seen some shit like this. I think it's called Visions or some crap. And he doesn't want to go. He wants to be with his friends because he's cool with his friends.
Yeah, he's cool on the block. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. Like, he has all this shit. And then he goes there, and his dad commits the ultimate offense.
Oh, yeah.
Ultimate offense. Like, so much so that the dad, like, next to me was like, dude, we don't do this.
That dad was funny, by the way. Like,
yeah.
He was kind of corny, but some of the scenes in the movie, but, like, his reactions were really nice.
Yeah, and, like, he drops off his son, Miles, you know, trying to be cool, walk to school, yada. He has a thing where he doesn't tie his shoelaces. Yeah. He trips, and he falls in the middle of the street, and he runs into his father. Father grabs him, takes him to the school. You were gonna say something?
I was gonna say he claims not tying his shoes is a choice, which is really weird.
Hey,
and it's a recurring theme in the movie, which
he doesn't want to tie his shoes. I don't know why. They never explained that, but he's not about that life. So he falls in the street, meets his father. His father takes him to school. His father's like, "Say I love you," and he's like, "Yeah, I know." And then he gets on the speaker of the car because his dad's a cop, and it's like, "Say it."
So you got to say it back. You might have seen it on the trailer as well.
Like, yeah. Dude, like, your father, like, your son just got there. Don't embarrass him like that.
Right.
That's what Michael's gonna be when he has kids. He's gonna be like, "Say it."
Oh, I ain't gonna be an asshole like that.
wasn't being an asshole.
My kid's gonna have some cred that they gotta keep up, man. I gotta be cool and make sure he ain't getting clowned.
Let me tell you
like
something.
Miles just got, as soon as he walked through the door, he started getting clowned. Like, you gotta say it back, Roger that, copy, all that bullshit. He was getting clowned for it.
Yo, Ultimate, like his dad was such a nerd. Horrible. I mean, you would be thinking it too, though.
I mean, I'll be thinking it, but I got restraint, unlike them, so.
I mean, hey, new kid, and most embarrassing thing that could happen to him. Not the most,
good
but
first
one.
Impression. Right.
Good first impression. He has a rough first day. He meets Gwen, but she gives him a fake name. And then, is it the same day where
Wanda.
Yeah, it's the same day where he pulls out her hair.
Yep, all the same day.
Yep, he has a really
no, I'm lying. That was the next day because he left and went with his. We'll get to that.
Yeah. So he leaves. You do see, like, he does have a loving relationship with his mother, who is this, the, I guess, Hispanic part of his culture. Mm-hmm. And I like they show him speaking Spanish, which I thought was cool. He saw his dad. He meets Gwen. He's carrying all these books. I don't know how the fuck they expect him to carry all that shit all day, every day. Yeah. He gets called out by his teacher because he picked all the wrong answers to get 0. And it's a multiple choice. So she knew that he knew the right answers and passed him anyway. Right.
Give him a full 100, which that teacher does not exist in the real world. But kudos for her.
Well, I know, like, a teacher would make him retake it and actually try. I know teachers who do that. But because he knew the right answer, or they tell your parents that you're intentionally trying to fail.
Right.
But he's trying to quit the school because he don't like it. He's like, I want my friends, yada yada. Typical, teenage shit. Then we meet his Uncle Aaron, and he has so much fun with his uncle because Miles likes to tag buildings or make like
graffiti.
Yeah, but not graffiti. He makes these, like, is it signs? Name tags with graffiti on them. And he likes to put them everywhere. And his Uncle Aaron, like, talks about that. And there's a theme of, like, Uncle Aaron being like, oh, me and your dad used to do that, but then he became a cop and we just couldn't.
Different ways, right?
Right. And the dad's like, don't be like your uncle. And Miles is like, my uncle's cool, yada yada. And I kind of like the intro to Miles. I'll agree with you. The intro to Miles was solid. A little too long, kind of boring. And I didn't catch that was Gwen until I was like, I'm going to see her again, aren't I? Like, it made it obvious I was going to see her again. He gets bit by the spider while he's tagging. That's another thing that annoyed me. That spider took a long time to bite him.
Yeah, it was like on his neck at one point. He caught all up his sleeve. It was on him for about a minute before that she bit him.
Yeah, and I was like, why are we building suspense to the spider bite? Just let him bite him already. Like, I didn't.
And then the climax was so lazy. Like, all he did was like love tap and then like flipped it off. I'm like, he didn't even really give a shit. Like when Peter first got bit, he felt that shit.
I mean,
he had problems.
First of all, that shit was big.
Yeah.
And then it didn't look human. It looked not human. Sorry, it didn't look actually like a real spider because it was part blue.
It was like glowing, had a number on it.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this? And he was just like, and killed the spider. And so next day, shit goes crazy. What do you think about him discovering his power? What do you think about that sequence?
I thought that was funny because apparently like the thoughts in his head were like really loud and his powers just acting up. Like every Spider-Man movie had this where like their powers are brand new and like they're just finding out about it and like they just can't handle the realization that shit's happening right now. So he goes to this whole thing where he runs back into Gwen. He's like sweating his ass off. His thoughts are really, really loud. And I thought the scene was funny. Everything where like he just started sticking to. And there's a point where he's talking to Gwen, and apparently he pulls off some like Mac Daddy move from his uncle taught him.
Yeah,
where
touch him on the shoulder.
Touch him on the shoulder and say, "Hey."
I like how you creeped up to the thing.
Well, hey. I wanted the bass to hit the mic. Wow, Shanique. Stop a niggas play in this game right now, man. Come on.
Hey, come on, watch your language. Not really, but
wow. Have you ever heard this podcast before? But yeah, that was funny because like he ended up touching her hair. Like he's panicking this whole time, so he ain't thinking about what he's touching. And they end up having to go to the nurse's office to like trim the girl's hair, and he's here blaming it on puberty. And I'm like, if you're blaming it on puberty and your hand starts sticking to things, that's a bad look for you.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna explain why, but that's a bad look for you.
Gwen was like, do you know what puberty is?
Right. I'm pretty sure that's not how it works. Like,
yeah, like, what?
Like apparently he got like a slight bit of a growth spurt too, because like he couldn't fit some of his clothes. Like his pants turned into hot waters and shit. Like yo, what's going on here?
Yeah, he had a bad first week.
Yeah, the scene where he's outside the building still sticking to everything was a little strange to me too. But I still thought it was funny because literally only Gwen saw him. And, you know, she plays a bigger part later in the movie, but like. No one in New York saw this man flipping around windows.
They'd probably be like, "Oh, this is New York."
Hey,
this is probably
New York is the city of minding your own damn business. So
yeah, exactly.
That's probably what they were thinking, yo.
Yeah. So, what happened after that? Jesus. After Miles like freaks the fuck out,
he needs to tell somebody about it, and he goes back down to the sewers.
Yeah,
to look for the spider.
Right, and then the spider glitches. So the spider must have been from another, what you call it, universe. I'm assuming, because anyone that's not part of the universe starts like that. So I'm assuming that's where. I don't know when the fuck that started, but I'm assuming the spider wasn't from his actual universe.
I was thinking it was.
Why was it glitching like that then?
I think it was a twitch, and that's just a movie trying to freak you out because it was a jump scare. Like all the other ones with the glitches weren't jump scares, but you know that they were glitches. This one I just thought was him like with the spider twitching because some bugs.
No, but the spider twitched while it was while crawling as well. When we first saw the spider, it did did that too.
Maybe it did. I'm not recalling this, but that's fine.
So it doesn't like so it's from his universe or something, and he ends up running into Peter Parker and the Green Goblin, which. I really don't remember him being a monster.
Yeah, he changes different sizes depending on who's writing it. But like even in the universe originally, which was called the Ultimate Universe in the comic books, he's like super huge. He doesn't have like the hat and like the glider or whatever. He just turns into like this big dragon-looking motherfucker. And I'm like, okay, that's less of a goblin, more of a dragon, I guess. I don't know what to call this guy. He looked like a gargoyle, but not in stone.
He looked like a Green Goblin, and I was like, okay, sure, let's go with that. So Peter's fighting Green Goblin. They're going at it. Miles should not be there. If I was Miles, I'd be getting the fuck out of there. But no, he stays and watch because he's dumb. He's dumb at this point. And they're fighting. They finally see him because he's like doing stupid shit, and he ends up falling. And Peter saves him. Peter's like, oh, I'm gonna train you, blah blah blah.
This Peter is the ideal Spider-Man. Like he's such a fucking good guy.
Yeah. When he died though, it's kind of violent when you actually really think about it.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that really quickly. So he's fighting. He gets ahead up of Green Goblin at first. Then he fights Crawler or Prowler. Prowler. He fights Prowler as well. He beats him for a little bit. And then Green Goblin fucks him up. And Miles is watching this whole thing, not doing anything, because he's scared and he's a little kid. Kingpin. We find out what... So Peter says, hey, you know your plan's not going to work. It's not going to do what you think it's going to do. So Kingpin gets mad and smashes him to death.
Yep.
But they don't show it because it's a kid's movie.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say kid movie, but it's animated, and they're trying to keep not scared the children.
Yeah.
But he takes his giant fist and go, huh. Were you shocked at how violent his death was? I was.
A little bit, only because like, and I'm a dork, guys. Forgive me. But in the book, that's not how he died.
How he died in the book?
Green Goblin actually kills him. I think he like threw explosive. Actually, they both got caught in an explosion. And Peter died in that explosion.
Okay.
But so did Green Goblin in the books. But this one was weird because it was more so physical. Like it was like a guy straight up bare hand just crushed like Hulk smashing your shit.
Yeah.
So and they did make like Kingpin comically huge and comically strong
with a little tiny head.
With a very disproportionately tiny head. That might be a medical condition, but
he had a hump.
He had a lot of back. Like let's just put it that way,
and a lot of arm and fists. So that happens, and Miles is like horrified. Mm-hmm. I think they see him, and he has to run from. this nigga, I can't remember his name, Prowler. He has to run from Prowler, and he makes it home. And he's so scared that he begs his parents to stay home because, again, he goes to a boarding school and he's not supposed to be there.
Right.
They do. You know, his dad hates Spider-Man because he's like, hey, we don't get awards and stuff. We out here doing the same thing. You know, hating on the sidelines. Once that happens, news come out. Peter Parker's dead. He's Spider-Man.
They had Mary Jane deliver like the like a little speech too. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, and you saw his aunt May. You saw everyone there, and she's way more badass in this movie than I ever remember her.
Hell yeah!
Like I didn't think she she's way more badass. In the MCU, she's she's not hella young. She's actually the right age, but the actress look hella young. And then in the original trilogy, she's really old. So it is what it is. Miles is devastated. Everyone's wearing like Spider-Man stuff. There's a Stan Lee cameo. Hey, I recognize him. I'm getting there. Rest in peace.
Yep, but
yeah, he didn't die, right?
Yeah, he died. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was like, oh God, I didn't want to put that in the universe.
Yeah, right.
They'd be coming for my neck.
I'll be coming for your neck.
Yo, first of all, you supposed to back me no matter what.
Let me play my man Stan like that, yo.
He ain't your man. You don't know him.
He gave me Spider-Man. We cool, yo. We go way back.
Wow. So the man that gave me Spider-Man is more important than me?
I didn't say all that. Don't put words in my mouth.
You back me.
Yeah. After you apologize to Stan.
Get the fuck out of here. Yo, get the fuck out of here. Where was that? Yeah. So they had the Stan Lee cameo. He's wearing this horrible Spider-Man costume.
Yeah.
And he visits the grave. Then this is when we meet a different Peter Parker. And I guess I want, like, I thought the introduction to Peter was, this part I wasn't sure if I liked it. Because it led to this weird long chase scene. And he was getting fucked up. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, you should be dead.
No, he's also Spider-Man. He's eaten a lot of damage over the years. He'll be. And this is an experienced Spider-Man too.
Okay, this Spider-Man, who's also experienced, was like 28, and he couldn't eat Kingpin's fist.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
Well, he was 26. Yeah, that's right. He was 26. The other one was in his 30s. That's right. Yeah, you're right.
He couldn't handle those fists. Just saying. So.
Wow.
Putting out there.
Wow.
It is what it is.
Wow.
Boom. All right, and
childish. Wow.
All I'm saying is he should have been dead. That's also the thing. I didn't really like that scene because after a while, I'm just like, how many things can he get hit with? It was really long. What did you think of the intro to the older Peter Parker?
I thought it was kind of cool. Like I didn't mind it at all. Actually, I thought it was funny because that's when he first uses his little venom shot thing, where Peter gets hit with it.
I do have a question about that. His powers. He can turn invisible. And he can, like, do some lightning shit. Yeah. Right? Is that coming from his body? Because I know the webs are, like,
that's from they're all from his body. Those are natural things within himself.
Besides the webs. The webs
the webs aren't natural, yes.
Okay.
The webs are still, like, the wrist thingies.
So they made him but what does that have to... Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he only has two different powers, the invisibility and the shot.
Right, but why did they make the web like mechanical?
Well, that was always mechanical.
Not at all.
Well, yeah, but the traditional way of writing Spider-Man's app had the mechanical web shooter.
But we were okay with giving them lightning.
Well, that's just part of the way they wrote this new one, which I thought, and it's technically not lightning. I hate doing this, but in the book, it's more like a pressure point thing. But for this movie, they gave him like straight up lightning.
Yeah, he went.
He's supposed to like just do like a thing where like it's like a sting, and then like you freeze up yourself like an actual spider biting you or whatever. But it's whatever. It's neither here nor there. But I agree. They do make it like straight up like electricity powered or whatever. Because I'm like, what spider in the real world do that? I can get invisibility because spiders are stealthy and shit. But I'm like, this nigga just used a fucking Pokemon move, so I don't know how the hell that happened.
Hey, this Detective Pikachu, next year.
What kind of transition was that?
Hey, he does. You said Pokemon move.
I'm done. I'm done here.
Look out for that. Got to plug in 2019 bullshit. Yeah. But yeah, I just didn't. To me, the intro was like hella long For no reason. First of all, he get hit by like fucking trains, cars.
Well, he wasn't hit by train. The cars were all stationary for the most part.
He hit the side of the train. I thought.
Yeah, he hit the side of the train, but they're making it like he collided with it. And
he collided with the side of the train.
Listen, Spider-Man take damage, okay? They have those things thrown at them. This man is out here fighting Thanos. Give him a break.
He didn't fight Thanos.
Not this one specifically.
Okay, I'm about to say. Because this one did not fight Thanos. And even the one in Infinity War didn't fight Thanos.
Yeah, he did. Well, remember, he helped. He was helping take the glove off.
Did it work, though?
He fought Thanos. That's the question you asked, right? Exactly.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, they both got dusted, okay?
Wow.
Oh!
Being really childish on the internet right now.
But, like, I'm just saying. So you're telling me this dude got shot, or whatever the fuck his power is. Mm-hmm. He got dragged across New York City, hitting everything possible to the point he face plants in the middle of the street. And he alive?
Yep.
All right, let's no.
Remember, I can't even say that right now, but whatever. You know what? In some other movies, when Spider-Man's training for his web shooters swinging around, he's falling off a building straight up and surviving and hitting things on the way down. So the way I see it, Spider-Man can take a hit. All right.
Then Kingpin shouldn't have killed him.
Well, he was also in the middle of an explosion bomb when his dimensional transporter thingy went off, and like that's how like the current dead Peter Parker in this universe saw the other Peter Parkers from other universes, or other Spider-Men, should I say, spider-powered people from other universes, and how that's kind of how we found out that they all got brought here because Peter Parker was part of like that dimensional stream thing or whatever they want to do with it. She ain't trying to have that right now.
No,
she ain't trying to have it.
But it's okay. So we meet this Peter Parker, and they do the thing where if they're big enough, all the Spider-Mans and Spider-Woman, because there's two, get intros, which I like that aspect of it. I thought that was pretty cool because I knew it was going to lead to Miles getting his own intro. But we meet Peter, and this older version of Peter. This is about maybe 6 years prior, because he's only 30-something. And he's saving the world. He's doing his thing. Because of all his saving and stuff, his marriage gets strained. Then the MJ wants kids, and he's like, nah, bruh. And then she's like, well, give me a divorce. And now here we are. And now he's fat and lonely. And this is the Peter Parker that will save us all.
I mean, she's lying.
I didn't exaggerate his issue. But, so then, basically, Miles has Peter like tied up, but he's a rookie. So Peter gets out of it and explains to him. I did like their interaction. I did like their beginning of the relationship. I thought that was pretty cool. And then what does that lead to? Oh yeah, they realized, hey, because Miles was dumb. He destroyed the only thing that can actually stop the particle accelerator. I think, yeah. Because he's isn't that from the Flash though?
I don't know.
It is from the Flash. That's part of the multiverse.
Yeah.
That's what also gives him his powers.
Oh, that's very true. Actually, yep.
Just saying. Don't be looking at me like that.
No, I don't know what you're doing right now because you're just like, I'm
just saying.
How many revelations over here?
How many particle accelerators can?
Listen, comic books use particle accelerators a lot for plot devices. All right, like
can that be built in real life?
Oh, there's one in real life. It just doesn't do all this sci-fi bullshit that dumb comic books do. They Large Hadron Collider.
Oh.
They try to make like tiny black holes with it, similar to what they're doing in this movie. But the black hole that they make only lasts for like a fraction of a second. And like they aren't any threat to the world, actually.
Well,
I don't think we're going to be doing any dimensional traversing.
Can you imagine if the multiverse was real?
Man, I would meet other versions of myself and we'd have a fucking party. It would be great.
I don't want to. I feel like I'd be too freaked out. I don't want to meet another version of me. What if I'm like evil?
That'd be so cool.
What the hell do you mean?
Like you and your evil twin. That'd be great. Then you have like a fight and it's going to get like a movie deal and shit. It's going to be freaking great. Oh my God.
No, see, here's the thing. My evil twin knows like actual like martial arts. I'm dead.
Well, that's when you go into the mountains and train and have a montage.
What the fuck? No.
Hey, that happens with this Spider-Man too. Okay,
what
if, in the mountains.
What if the version of me is like white Or what if they're like...
I'm for the problem.
It just seems like, I don't know. It will freak me the fuck out. Like, to the point I don't want to. And what if I like the other version of you better?
Too bad. You stuck with me already. I already bought your Christmas gift, so it don't matter. You're with me now.
Hey, you can't buy me.
You're
what
right.
if I like other Michael...
Neither can he.
What if other Michael Brown is like...
Well,
so much better.
If it's anything like in this movie, he can't stay in this dimension, or his atoms are gonna like destroy themselves. So fuck you, Michael Brown from another dimension. She's mine.
Aww.
I get the last laugh. Nice try though. Next.
Yo. All right. Moving back to the movie though. So basically, they come up with a plan. They're like, "Yo, we gotta steal the shit. All right, we just gotta steal the actual information so we can make another one of these." And it goes wrong.
Technically, it goes right because Peter literally for every step of it said he's going to do this, and he did everything, including the bagel.
But you know what? Miles fucked it up.
Miles, he has a long way to go. He
let me down.
He has a long way to go at this point.
Way down. First of all, he turned invisible because he freaked out. Then he did a flight or fight thing, and like when first of all, Dr. Oct is a woman, which
Liv Octavius, yeah.
I didn't see that coming.
See, alternate universe shit. I'm trying to tell you.
What the fuck ever. And they're fighting in her office because the woman in the video turned out to be evil. They're fighting in the office. All Miles has to do is steal the desktop, basically. And he
steal the information because Peter gave him a password. And that password was bullshit. Like, he's
I forgot.
631 $77C T elemental P $7775. Like, what?
35. Then
35. Yeah, that was a funny little scene right there. Before
I did like the comedic time in between them, and I like their relationship here. Yes, he fucks it up, and he says, "I don't got time for this shit," because he couldn't read her desktop. Like, who? I don't even know how she
had like 100,000 fucking files on her desktop, and they're not organized at all.
They were on top of each other and everything. So he's like, "Fuck this! I don't know. I'm just gonna steal the whole damn
computer." Right?
Yeah, and they basically do that. But he fucks it up again. And then, first of all, why is everyone in that place packing heat?
Oh yeah, they stay strapped.
Yeah, they was like, "Oh, Spider-Man, let's go."
They're in the lunchroom in their cafeteria too, and they're just like,
and they were big guns. They were not even like small guns.
Oh yeah, these are like military grade, drop you from across the yard type guns.
Yeah, and they're like booking it. They're running. Miles doesn't know how to use his web shooter, so he's fucking it up again. And this is when we finally meet Gwen as Gwen as well. And she ends up being really good. Spider-Woman.
Well, she doesn't go by Spider-Gwen.
But in this movie, she calls herself Spider-Woman.
You're right.
So why you name her other thing?
Because that's what she's also called elsewhere.
But we're not in elsewhere. We in this movie. Focus. What happened to not bringing things up, man?
It's too late. I already did it like 10 times already. It's too late for me.
Yeah, but come on.
I'm too far gone. I can't change now. She has had enough.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck that. You describe the scene. I'm done.
Okay, so pretty much Doc Ock is still chasing them outside the lab Alchemex, and all the little cronies with the guns from the cafeteria are still chasing them.
Is that a play off from Malcolm X?
No, Alchemex. That's the actual name of the place.
Sounds like a play off from Malcolm X.
Why would we play from Malcolm X?
I don't know. This is your world. I'm just visiting it for like 1 minute.
You visited for 2 hours when you watched the movie, okay?
Was it 2 hours?
Yeah, about 2 hours long.
Oh, shit, man. That's a long-ass movie.
Yeah, that's how the day feels. So, anyways, we're getting sidetracked again. But yeah, they're on their way out, and they have the computer, and they're doing this weird tag team thing, carrying the computer, where Miles is like getting some on-the-job training, figuring out how to use the web shooters. So, and he's just getting the hang of it, but Doc Ock is catching up. And she pretty much gets the computer back, kicks everyone's ass, kicks Miles's and Peter Parker's ass pretty much, or at least like restrains them. And then Spider-Gwen comes in, kicks Doc Ock's ass, and gets the computer back. And they're like, sup? I'm another Spider-Man. So now there's 3 Spider-Men in the movie. Clearly the movie's trying to say, hey, we aren't done here with all this, trans-universal bullshit. And it's pretty cool. And in the next scene, they go ahead and introduce themselves to Aunt May.
Right. So they go to Aunt May's house and says, "Hey, could you help us?" And she already know the deal. She's like, "Yeah, you're not my Peter." So she takes him down to his spider lair. I don't know what the fuck.
A spider cave.
What the fuck it's called? And you walk into a shed and it turns into a big ass lair and has all these different Spider-Man suits in there, and then we meet some other ones. There's a black and white Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Noir.
There's a pig Spider-Man.
Spider-Ham.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was like pork. I don't know, like pork Spider-Man or something like that. I did not know it was
Spider-Ham. Yeah, that's the name.
Yo, you fucking with me.
No,
Right?
I'm really not.
What the fuck? Porky Pig became Spider-Man in another universe.
It's not Porky Pig.
First of all, why did he have the eyes on his nose?
Yeah, I was wondering about that too. That was a little strange.
Whatever. And then we also meet
Penny Parker.
Penny Parker with her Spider-Man robot.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
That's all of them.
Okay. So, which one was your favorite besides Miles?
I would probably say, okay, can I say Peter Parker?
Yeah, I said besides Miles.
Peter Parker, only because he does a really good job of being sensei and teaching Miles that,
towards the end of the movie, sure.
Well, I mean, in this scene, it gets really close because everyone kind of gangs up on him and be like, yo, you can't be Spider-Man unless you always stand back up. And they jump him to mess with him mentally. You just make sure that, you say you want to fight and save the day and protect your family and all this shit. But you got to be willing to, keep your guard up and always get back up when you get your ass kicked. Mm-hmm. And, they test him. And everyone's like, yo, he's not cut out for this, yo. If he comes with us, he might just die. And they come to the conclusion, too, that, someone had to stay behind to fix the dimensional transporter thingy. And Miles can't be there, so Peter Parker decides, it's going to be me. I'll just, stay behind. I'll sacrifice myself and do whatever, because... If Miles does it, he can stay behind and be safe. But everyone else is Adams. They're like,
he hasn't decided to do it at that point. He still trusts Miles to do it.
Well, yeah, right now they trust Miles, but everyone else is kind of like they're noticing.
We didn't skip to the end. Come on, man. Why are you trying to be dramatic?
You'll be alright. You'll be alright.
But anyway, yeah, and so he freaks out. He gets mad. But my favorite is Gwen. I think she's a real badass, and I enjoyed a lot of her moves. I think she had a lot of cool scenes. And I was like, all right, Gwen Stacy, I never cared about you as a character until this movie. So, Good job. This
is another universe where she didn't die.
I know.
Which I'm guessing in this universe is Gwen Stacy is actually dead? If that's the case?
Does she even exist?
That's another good question. I'm assuming so, because the blonde Peter Parker might have been with her at some point, and then she died or something. I don't know. They never really touched on that. It
depends, because some people write it where they never met.
Yeah, that's right.
So it doesn't matter. Anyway, Gwen is pretty cool. And also, Gwen is the same age as Miles, which I thought was weird. But
15 months older, specified by her.
Same age as Miles, okay?
She's a year older and a couple of some changes, so whatever.
Whatever.
Year and 3 months.
You got more to say about this?
No, I'm done.
Okay, thank you. What the fuck? So, Miles freaks out. He goes see his Uncle Aaron, and he's writing him a note saying, Uncle Aaron, I'm a pussy, I don't know what to do. And the Prowler shows up. He goes into the visit. What else was I supposed to say? The nigga can't be seen anymore.
He's invisible.
Yes, I forgot the word. Yo, it's one of those days right now.
Saturday?
Yes!
The best day of the week, what?
Yeah, I know, right? So he can't see him anymore. He's walking around the apartment. He sensed something. So he's looking around and shit. And the big reveal is Prowler's Uncle Aaron. Michael kind of spoiled that for me. Because I didn't know until you told me during the movie.
Oh, my bad.
I was like, oh, you ever heard of Prowler? He's like, yeah, but he might be his Uncle Aaron.
My bad. I was in Spider-Man mode at that point. I had my Spider-Man goggles tight on my face at that point, so I couldn't.
I know, it was supposed to be all dramatic. He took off his mask and stared, and Miles was like, oh my God. And I'm like, shit. Wait, I already know. But it's okay.
I helped.
Basically. And so he's like, oh shit, my Uncle Aaron. And he thinks he got away perfectly, and they just fuck, and then he doesn't get away, and they end up fighting Scorpion, Prowler, Doc Ock,
Tombstone.
What the fuck was Tombstone?
He's the white guy, the white skinned guy with the guns.
Oh,
he had like no real effect on this movie, really, when you think about it.
I kept forgetting about him. Okay,
yeah,
fine.
he did like 2 scenes and 2 scenes only, almost.
Yeah, and they fight everyone in Aunt May's house, and poor Aunt May, her whole house got fucked up, and everyone's disappointed because like where you followed, yada yada, and he's like upset. Miles ends up fighting his Uncle Aaron. Well, not really fighting, but trying to like run from his Uncle Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
And Miles sees that he's about to die, so he does the only thing he knows how to do. He reveals himself to his uncle. And his uncle, because he loves him, can't kill him. Mm-hmm. And it leads to his Uncle Aaron being fatally shot by Kingpin. Mm-hmm. What did you think of Uncle Aaron's death? And is that how he died in the comics?
Not how he died in the comics. Now, I don't even know exactly how he died in the comics. Just remember that he died a bad guy. And he didn't exactly leave... with like a lasting good guy note, like you're gonna do good like he did in this movie, where he's like, yo, you're on your way, keep going. In the book, he died more like saying, yo, you're just like me, because I think Miles was related somehow in his death, and I'm forgetting how. I did not read Miles' origin in the comics. I kind of just caught on after he was already Spider-Man.
Wow, and he's supposed to be your favorite Spider-Man?
Yeah.
And you don't know his origin?
Actually, no. He's my tie for like 616 Peter Parker. Well, the main continuity Peter Parker. They're legitimately tied for me right now.
So they're still number 1? He's still number 1, even if he's tied?
There's 2 number 1s. Yeah, right.
And you don't know his origin? Shameful.
I know. He's trying to get him with a guilt card, and I don't care.
Shameful. You're not standing up for your man right now.
She's doing what Miles did in the movie to Peter when he didn't want to train him. He said, I'm trying to make you feel guilty. Is it working?
No, but I actually liked that scene with his Uncle Aaron. I knew his uncle wouldn't kill him. That'd have been really
because they do seem really cool too.
Yeah, it would have been really like fucked up if he tried to drop him. Yeah, but
well, he'd been fine. He's Spider-Man. So what the hell?
That's why I said try. Come on, man. Listen to the. I don't know. I mean, I know he'd be fine because he's the main character. We got to make it to the end. So. Moving forward, unless you got some more shots.
Well, no, the dad came by after the dad died, and he saw Miles, but didn't see his face. Yeah. So he just went invisible, and that got away. And he went back to his room, I believe. Yeah, I think he went to his room.
His dorm room. Yes. Yeah. And basically, that's when he's confronted by the other Spider-Man or woman, whatever, spider things at this point. Mm-hmm. Spider people, and. They basically decide that he's not ready to do what they gotta do, so they venture on without him. It takes a speech from a dad to suddenly know how to use his powers randomly one day. He gets a black suit, which I really like the suit. Yeah. That suit was really good. I'll give it props all the way.
That's the suit he has in the comics too, and they did a really good job remixing it. I thought that was cool. Even the Spider logo got changed a little bit with his spray paint. I thought that was cool as shit.
I thought that was actually pretty cool. And basically the climax. I'm not going to describe everything from the climax because y'all niggas saw the movie.
Hopefully.
I mean, at this point, you basically did from our description. So basically, Kingpin wants to do this whole particle accelerator to bring another version of his family into this world, right? Because what happened was his wife and his son saw him attacking Spider-Man. And she was like, what the fuck? We gotta get out of here. But she wasn't looking where she was going. She ran light and she fatally died in a car crash along with the son. Yeah. So he blames Spider-Man for his family's death, and he wants to bring them into this world. So he has, oddly enough, a sad little story. Don't care about him, but he does have a sad story. And then Miles shows up, does his thing, and he's able to bring everyone home. Now, here's the thing. I have a little problem with the climax. That nigga should be dead.
Who?
Miles.
Oh, yeah.
And, I feel like if you're going to make him, I mean, it was also realistic. That's what also was good and bad about it. Realistically, he wouldn't be able to get a hit on a big ass dude like that. He's built like a fridge.
Remember, he also has he's really strong now. He broke a whole boulder earlier in the movie.
Yeah, but he can't fight though.
That's true, but
that's what matters.
That's true.
You can be as strong as you want, but if you can't fight and land a hit, who cares?
Remember, he's getting agility training through all this chasing he's been doing from Prowler and all this other shit going on. And this is his real, like, if you think about it,
for most of the fight though.
If you're right, it didn't. But like, you know, like I said, training. He didn't say he did it right. I'm saying he did training, or at least it helped set him up, because this was technically his first real fight for the entire movie, and that's actually his last fight, because he never really fought anyone. Every time he used his power so far, he was either running or on defense. So the fact that his first fight is with a boss, pretty much. Actually, the first fight was technically with Scorpion, because he tag teamed with Gwen Stacy to like get the henchman out the way and whatever. And he was fighting Doc Ock for a little bit when he first appeared.
Yeah, but his first one-on-one, I mean. Yeah,
his first one-on-one was with Kingpin, and he handled it pretty well. I think they did it well that way, in the sense that
he basically
it's a big challenge to overcome, and that like forces him to like, you know, be brave and stand up and, you know, keep going.
He got a lucky hit in.
It's a comic book story.
I know. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's realistic that he got a lucky hit.
Oh yeah.
And I like that they pay tribute to his uncle who gave him that stupid advice, and he ended up using it.
Right. Hey.
But he basically electrocuted that man to the point he went flying.
Yeah.
Right into the button to like
shut down the dimensional transporter after everyone's already disappeared. Well, all the spider people disappeared.
Right. And it leads to this big explosion, which they all should have died there too. It's cool. I thought his father was going to die. I thought they were going to do that. Mm-hmm. So when they saved his life, I was like, all right, cool. We're going to keep his parents alive for now. Dun, 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 dun. And it was just a whole thing. What was your favorite part of that?
What, the whole fight?
Yeah.
When he got there and everyone was like, yo, my boy, you back in the building, knew how to activate your powers and shit. Because there's this point too where he was like slipping through two buildings because the dimensions colliding.
Cool.
I thought that was dope. So that, and even the scene before that where he had the realization that, yo, I'm about to like, you know, be Spider-Man and shit, when he was like swinging around the city and he did that like free fall you saw in the trailer. I thought those scenes right there were cool. And I do like the entire fight with Kingpin too, because it didn't make like, they did not make it an easy fight. And to be honest, Kingpin would have won if it wasn't for him reliving the event he went through before, because his family from the other dimension saw him again, and they're like, yo, what are you doing, Wilson? Like, yo, we gotta go, kid. Like, you know, the same way they died in his dimension is the same thing he had to relive one more time, and it allowed an opportunity for Miles to beat down on him a little bit, not to win, but, you know, get the upper hand a little bit. So they made it, you know, a cool little back and forth right there and all that.
It's kind of reminding me of, like, for the MCU when he was fighting Vulture.
Yeah.
And he ended up crying.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he didn't cry. I would have laughed.
Yeah. I do like the little homage they paid to Spider-Man 3, though, where, like, Peter was dancing in the intro.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny as shit. I completely forgot to talk about that, too, where he was doing the dance that everyone doesn't want to talk about for Spider-Man 3. I don't give a shit. I thought it was funny and corny at the same time, so yeah.
It's because, like, Tobey Maguire is a scrawny white boy. So, like, you see him doing it, it's like, oh my god. But, yeah. And then we go to the end. Miles accepts his fate. He becomes the new Spider-Man. Everyone's loving him. And the movie ends.
Mm-hmm. Dope soundtrack, by the way.
Really good soundtrack. Mm-hmm. It was worth seeing in theaters. I really enjoyed the movie.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a good experience. Not outside the MCU, but standalone, excellent by itself.
Yeah. And I'm kind of glad it was outside. I kind of like that I didn't have to care. I mean, you really don't have to care about most of them anyway.
Right.
But I did like that it was separate in its own thing. What else? I think we covered everything for the most part. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, good movie. I like this introduction of Miles, and I hope they make another one.
I hope that at some point, and I know I'm asking for a lot right now because it's a little early to say this, but hopefully some point we see Miles in the main Marvel universe, cinematic universe, because we've seen cameos of his uncle in Homecoming. Childish Gambino was Aaron Davis.
They cameo Miles already, though.
No, where's Miles in Homecoming?
There's like, if you watch the Easter egg video, there's Miles is in there.
Okay, I know. All right.
But they didn't give him a big part. It's a blink if you missed him. So if they want to recast, they can.
See, this I gotta go see for myself because I only know Childish Gambino was his uncle, and he wasn't even Prowler at that point. But he even talked about Miles down. He said, "Yo, my nephew, I'm trying to make sure he stays safe." So he was trying to buy some weapons from the guy Vulture. His henchman pretty much. So I thought that was kind of cool. But that's just my wish. I'm going to go enjoy the Spider-Man video game where Miles is also in there.
Do you get to play as him?
I don't know, but I also don't think so. I'm pretty sure this is a Peter Parker game.
Okay. You know, you never know. They sometimes have like DLCs and you can play those.
That's very true. You're right.
Or like temporary play as them as well.
Or a costume or some bullshit.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, definitely worth seeing. I don't regret it, and I hope you guys enjoy the movie as much as we did. Or as much as Michael did.
As much as Michael did would be a much higher place to put this.
Yeah. All right. Hit us up on Twitter at EchoU Podcast. You can find us on most social media and on most podcasting apps under Echo Underground Podcast. And we'll see you guys next episode. Bye.
See you.